Hey there, it's Elizabeth, and welcome back to the second part of October 2023 flip through. So we ended up on a Monday on the 16th. I was sick. I was in bed or on the couch, with 103 fever. Fun times. If you're wondering, this is a journal that I made out of a mailing envelope, 9 by 12. When you fold it in half, it ends up being 6 by 9. So to me, it's just the perfect size. I've really been enjoying using these types of journals. So this happens to be the first journal that I have actually fully completed since, when did I say like 7 months ago or something. It's been a crazy year. So let's just get into it, shall we? Okay, so on this day, it was sweater weather, which is odd because it's been rather warm and humid here lately, and we're into October or November now. So this was the middle of October, and we got, I guess, our first like cool front because it was in the 50s, in the high 50s, and yes, to us Floridians, that's cold. That is cold. Well, I should say it's cool, I guess. Like, I would definitely probably wear a jacket, and I probably did. So, just saying. I must have done laundry. Oh, okay. So, on this day here, oddly enough, I had 103 fever. It broke several times during the day. But on this day, I actually woke up feeling pretty decent. So my flu thing only lasted a few days, and then I started to get on the mend. I had a little bit of a cough, but it didn't really last all that long. So that was good. The worst of it was over. And then I finally threw a load of germy laundry in. Yeah. Felt good to do something. Oh, yeah, I washed some dishes up too. Wasn't that hungry, but yep, Big Handsome still tried to feed me. This had to do with, remember I told you we had a little bit of bad luck with our roof being replaced. And then we had the gutter guys come out. And this is what they did. Now, if you've been following along at all, oh, by the way, welcome if you're new here. And welcome if you're returning. If you recall this picture, we had gutters put in, and this is our gutter. Look where they positioned it, right over the casing of our window. Okay? I mean, for real. Yeah. We just have not had the best of luck with people. Anyway, duh, use your common sense, and if you don't have any common sense, then call your boss, call your supervisor and ask him, what should I do in this situation? So anyway, I spoke to my stepmom. Oh, and by the way, I did tell you in the other video, but just so you know, like when I'm doing my journal, these inside pages are from a pre-made journal. I just took them out of their journal cover, and I bought the journal at Dollar Tree, and I took the pages out. There happen to be exactly 16. They're lined. I prefer lined. And so I just stuck them all in here. And by using 16 pages, it gives me enough space to do a 2-page layout per day, because I do this daily, Well, I don't really do it daily, but you know what I'm saying, I hope. So and then I use like magazine clippings. I do print out photos or whatever. This is just something that I have. Yeah, I do have a free printable of these little phones down below if you're interested. I use like desk calendar cutouts. That's what these are. These, my numbers come from Sweet Lynn at Love Lynn's Life. I used to be a patron of hers. And my labels are just a thermal label maker that I reviewed a few years ago for a company. So there's that. Okay. So I decided to go ahead and go with my husband when he took Remington, our pup, for his afternoon walk. And we usually, what I mean by walk is we take him on the golf cart to like an area, like a dog walk, I guess you call it. I don't know. Anyway, so when we approached the house from the south side, I looked up and this is what I saw. And my husband hadn't even noticed it, And And so anyway, so he texted the company, the guy, you know, that he was in touch with, and he said, "Is there something wrong with this picture?" And the guy's response was very wrong. So they did send somebody out to fix it, and I was ever so pleased. And it was funny when they came back to fix it, he knocked on the door when he was done, and he said, "Could you come out, you know, and look, make sure it's exactly the way you want it and whatever." And so I went out there and I said yes, you know, and I said, I'm really sorry that you had to come out or whatever. And I asked him too. I said, "Now, did you replace the entire gutter, or did you just kind of like put a new downspout in?" And he was like, "No, we replaced the entire thing and did it right." And he said, "There's no reason for our customer to suffer because someone couldn't ask a question." And I was like, "Well, bless you, sir, bless you." So yeah, that was nice. That was like, it was nice to not have any more issues, you know. So, and I had a nice long chat with my stepmom. And then on this day, these are just magazine clippings. I had a horrid night's sleep, which why this is here, I have no idea, because this shows like I'm ready for the morning, and I might have decorated these pages before I wrote, so I don't know. This is how I felt like being dressed, because again, it was in the 50s and it was cold. And yeah, my blood must not be very thick at all, because I get cold super easy, and so does my husband. I had a horrible night's sleep. Yeah, I was still up at 3:30 when my husband got up. Yeah. I finally went to sleep I got like an hour and a half sleep before getting out of bed at 5. Oh my gosh. I did not walk, as you can see. I did film a journal with me. And my poor big handsome wasn't doing well. It seems like he caught my flu, and I was so upset. I did not want that to happen, of course, because he had a scheduled procedure in a different town. We like, yeah. Anyway, that was at the end of the month on the 27th. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, you know, I hope he gets better, you know, because we really need this procedure and we didn't want anything to mess it up." So that was upsetting. What is this? Oh yeah, okay. So my husband was resting and taking all the meds, you know. And I sat and answered my comments. It had been 2 weeks worth. My goodness, I usually don't go that long. But it was, oh, see, yeah, it was 58 degrees, but it was super, super windy. So that just makes it colder. So anyway, yeah, that was it. I'm a person who wants to do a lot of things trapped in a body that doesn't. That's for my husband. That's for my husband. And then take time to pray and invite God into every circumstance, because when God enters the scene, miracles happen. We were never meant to handle life on our own. Amen. Amen. And I am so thankful that I don't have to do this alone. That's for sure. These I get offline, like what's it called? Like Instagram, you know. This right here is a pincushion. I was, you know, it's kind of symbolizing like, can somebody please stop with the voodoo doll, right? And this, I think I just looked up pincushion, or I looked up something. This is a clip art piece. So, okay, so this day I woke up stuffy and runny at the same time, but I slept in. My husband, the poor thing, now he has a fever. It was just, oh my gosh. Yeah. I was able to catch up on journaling in my room, and I was taking care of Remington all day because poor big handsome. Yeah. And then we were still watching Law and Order SUV. We started at the very beginning. So then the next day, this is what happened. Yes, because, you know, my life's not exciting enough, right? Oh my heavens. So, the gutter guys came to fix the gutter. So that's when it happened on this day, when I had to go outside and make sure everything was okay. So Big Hansa, he woke me up at 7:30 to take care of Remington because he was just feeling miserable. And this was day 3 of a fever. So I said, okay, yeah, I think it's time to go to urgent care. So he went to urgent care and he was diagnosed with the vid, guys, with the vid. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you for real? Like, we need a break, yo. I put it down here. Oh my gosh. So yeah, he was on like medication and steroids and something for his cough. He had a horrible cough. And then I found this to be weird. He came home and he was sitting on the when we got home, and he was sitting on the couch, and I was rubbing his back, and I'm like, man, you're really hot. You feel really hot to me. And I said, what was your temperature at the urgent care? And he said, oh, they said it was normal. It was 98. And I'm like, well, we're taking it. I took it. It was 103. I don't know what happened. So I went into town later, like, and that is just not, that's unheard of, folks, in my house. Like, I very rarely drive, but my husband just felt so bad. Yeah, and the doctor even told us that, oh no, this shouldn't affect, you know, because he had already had it for 3 days. So, and I do believe that this means that I must have had COVID in order for him to catch it. So, yeah, there's that. I was never tested for it though. Because it, you know, I was like one day in bed with 103. I felt bad, but you know, I've had the flu before, so that's pretty much what I thought it was. And in a couple days I was fine again. So anyway, but the doctor said, oh no, it shouldn't affect the scheduled appointment that we had for the following week. So this is, these are 2 memes that I found for my daughter and stuck them in here. Just trying to remember to be thankful and grateful for what I do have and stop dwelling on the things that are just irritating my life right now. Now, at this point, I'm like losing track of days. So, poor Big Handsome feels horrible. Now he has a dry cough. Oh my gosh, he was having a rough time on top of all the stuff that he goes through already. So anyway, caught up on my journaling. Spent the afternoon and evening watching Law and Order SVU. We like started at the beginning on Hulu. We started at the beginning, and I don't even know how many episodes there were. Hundreds, I think. Yeah, and then this, I do remember this. I did a Your Creative Studio unboxing and a ramble session. I filmed it this day on Sunday, and I didn't film this, but this is from the Your Creative Studio box. So I made this cute little tag, all these things, well, with exception to this, Tim Holtz dude, and this is one of my typed up little words, you know, but everything else, the stamps, this vellum piece, the label is from Your Creative Studio. So sweet little tag there. Another little meme that I found that I sent to my big kids. It was about big kids. And it was beautiful outside. Of course, I don't really go outside. But anyway, Big Handsome's coughing up a storm. Spoke with my aunt. Poor Big Hand, he's just miserable. He's just completely miserable. And he's just so done with everything. And then this day here, this is one of my drawings that you can get down below. A free printable from down below. This was, I just needed to put my phone in the corner so that I could return to Bible study. I hadn't been reading my Bible daily, and I could really tell just in my attitude and my thoughts, in the way I approach things, and just everything. So I needed to do this. Woke at 8. Oh, and Big Handsome was still sleeping. Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, he was, you know, still sick, getting over being sick, but Remington hadn't even been out yet. Oh my heavens. So, yeah, it's just, yeah. So anyway, he was just feeling bad, yeah. And it's frustrating, it's discouraging. We've been on this roller coaster for 8 years with him and his health, and it's been rough. And then I put well-meaning text don't help either, such as like, according to so-and-so, yeah, he's just, we also played ER roulette. That's always fun. No, no, it is not. No, it is not. That is when we play should we go to the ER, should we not. We ended up not going, which I was thankful for. He ended up pushing through. This is just about healing together, and yeah, how life can be challenging, because we both suffer from chronic issues as well. And then on top of that, we get COVID, and I'm also battling cancer. So, oh, life is just exciting, eh? I slept in and I woke again to Big Handsome being asleep. I'm like, good grief. But I was super glad that he got rest, because that's few and far between these days with him. So yeah, he's still feeling puny and his cough sounds terrible, and we still kept hoping that he would be able to have his procedure. This is for my husband. They say always trust your gut. Have you met my gut? You don't want to trust that bastard. Yeah, that's for my husband because he has gut issues. So this came from Sweet Allison AJ at AJ's Inspired Life. I've had this in my stash for years, and I finally took it out and used it. Was doing some Bible reading here, and then on this day, this is what I felt, guys. I was not in a good way during this whole time, because like I said, we both have chronic issues that we, deal with on a daily basis. Then, I end up getting COVID, giving it to my husband. He's scheduled to have this surgical procedure done, and it's just a mess, guys. It's a mess. And I went to go pick up my oral chemotherapy this day. Yeah. So, yeah. But then I saw this. One day you will tell that story about how you overcame that battle you went through, and God will send you the exact people who need to hear that story. So I found that, and it just touched my heart. And when I read this, I honestly thought about you guys. I know, a lot of times that some people might think I'm an oversharer or whatever. I don't really care, but I just share the real with you, like it's just, yeah, I don't know. And I hope, I hope it's encouraging, and I hope it's, if you're going through something similar, or you have chronic illness, or you've gone through cancer or are going through cancer, or, whatever, I share on my channel the good, the bad, and the ugly, that's just how I've always done it. So yeah, this just really touched my heart, and I had been just feeling like this lately, and yeah. I did, let's see, my sweet beauty queen called. Oh, she called my husband in the morning, her dad, and talked to him because they were talking shop. So he understands all that stuff. They ended up extending days or something like that onto her work schedule. So that's what that was about. Oh yeah, I got up this morning. It was just so weird. Like I get out to the couch, and my husband is sweating profusely. Like it literally looked like he just got out of a pool or out of the shower. He was just dripping. And he said that he felt discombobulated. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with him. We're hoping to find out once he gets this procedure done. So anyway, I had to go to my oncologist, and they did labs that day. They took blood, and thank goodness, thank the Lord, my port worked fine. So that is very good news. And I picked up my meds to start the targeted drug therapy. It's called oral chemotherapy. And yeah, when we got home, my poor Big Handsome fell promptly asleep for 2 hours. He was just so worn out and just so tired. So tired. I love this one here. It's like no one in my family appreciates that I stayed up all night overthinking for them. Oh my goodness. And then this one I sent to my sweet, beautiful son. And she loved a not so little boy very, very much, even more than she loved herself. I love that. I don't know why he was upset. Oh, we took him to the border. Okay. So My sweet girl, yeah, we were leaving this day to go down south for my husband's appointments. He had an appointment with his pain doctor, which is like 3 hours away, 2.5, 3 hours away. And then we drove back north a little ways to go to the Cleveland Clinic, so that he could have his procedure. So, anyway, this is about my daughter because I can think of no better way to be awakened than by a just cuz phone call from my best girl. Yeah. So I was still sleeping when she called. I don't even know. It was probably like between 6 and 7:30, I would guess. No, was it early in that? No, it wasn't. It was around that time. So no big deal. Yeah, I got up and had a chat with her because there is nothing that I won't do for my kids. And if they call me, I'm going to talk to them. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. Okay, so we got packed and everything. We dropped Remington off at the vet. He was not thrilled. I did my Bible reading for that day. He was not happy. He was supposed to get neutered on this weekend because we were going to be gone for 4 days, and he was supposed to get neutered on Friday. No, 3 days. I got Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, 3 days. He was supposed to get neutered on Friday. They, for some reason, did not put him on the schedule. So then they were like, well, we could do it Monday, which just meant that we were going to have to stay. He was going to have to stay another night. Oh, it's just, it's just our life story. So my husband made it to his pain doctor. And while he was getting his pump filled, I just stayed in the car and I did my Bible reading. So, yeah. And then we headed we headed back north a little ways to go to the Cleveland Clinic. And as soon as we got into the hotel, my husband fell asleep and just kept on sleeping. And it got to be like toward dinner time, like 6, I guess, 6 in the evening. And I just kept looking at him as he's sleeping. Anyway, so he did wake up, and the thing is that my husband he doesn't eat food like normal food, so yeah. Anyway, so luckily there was this Guaca Tacos place right across the parking lot from the hotel. So I went over there and got tacos, and I got shredded chicken, and they were decent, like they were okay, but they had no cheese on them. I'm like, what is going on? Is that like an American thing? Is that a Tex-Mex thing? I don't know. Because the food tasted good, but I was like, why is there no cheese on this? Like, who has ever heard of a taco with no cheese? And let me even think what it had on it. It had pico, I think, on it. It had onions on it. I don't know. It just had like shredded chicken in like seasoned shredded chicken in a corn tortilla with with pico de gallo on it. That was it. I don't know. That's not a taco to me. Anyway, I ate it and I was thankful anyhow. So anyway, we watched HGTV. Oh yeah, and then I had issues with the hotel Wi-Fi, which is such a pain in the rump, I even called the front office. I could not get attached. Turns out I was just being impatient, and it was probably because we were all the way at the other end of the hotel. We were at the opposite end from the desk or whatever. And but it was annoying because when I go to sleep, that's when I usually watch a few videos, and I literally fall asleep watching videos, which probably isn't a good idea, but that's what I do, and that's what I'm used to doing. And so when you can't do something that you're used to doing that's very routine for you, it's not a fun thing. So the very next morning, we woke up super early to get to the Cleveland Clinic, which was literally like a 5-minute drive. And we got there, and my husband got all set up for his procedure and everything. What they're doing is they're going into his small intestine to figure out if there's a blockage, if they're like what's going on, if there's internal bleeding. Anyway, and so everyone was on board. The anesthesiologist, the nurses, everyone that was there for this procedure was fine. The doctor came in and said, nope, I'm not going to perform this because you just had COVID and you still have, you know, a significant respiratory issue going on. And he was like, look, my chief thing, my first priority is to keep you safe, you know, and I'm not willing to do this procedure because I have seen, he said that he had seen people end up on ventilators. And so I was like, okay, no, thank you very much. Yeah. So his procedure that we've been waiting months for ended up getting canceled, and it is rescheduled, but still, like, my husband's in a bad way and we need to figure out what's happening and see if anything can fix it before it gets, you know, like super bad. At any rate, while I was waiting for him, I did my Bible reading in the waiting room, and then we went back to the hotel and actually had breakfast at the hotel, so that was nice. And then we ended up packing up and just going home. We picked up Remington because they messed up his scheduled neutering anyway, so yeah, we ended up doing that. And we had like an issue with getting a refund because when we had from the hotel, because we left a day early, and because my husband had prepaid for the weekend for Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. No, Thursday night and Friday night, and we were gonna leave on Saturday. That's right. Yeah, they like, because we had prepaid, we couldn't get a refund. Whatever, I don't know. My husband's trying to work that out. So on this page, I just had, you know, just some stuff, you know, about faith and about, you know, just keeping the faith. And then you guys have seen some of these too. So I had decided that the pity party was over, right? And that I needed to trust in God. Although again, you'll see, I think, in these next few pages that I had once again, let me just look here, stopped. Oh no, for a few days I stopped my Bible reading. But anyway, so this day I was on a tear. I was on a cleaning tear. Remington had a much needed bath because he had just been at the Borders, and, you know, they didn't bathe him before we brought him home and whatever. So I cleaned the guest bathroom upstairs. I vacuumed up and downstairs and the stairs. I mopped upstairs. I washed blankets in Remy's bed. I wiped the surfaces downstairs. I swept the garage out. I cleaned the bedroom, mirrored closet doors, which I absolutely abhor doing, but I had to do it because they needed to be done. And so, yeah, I was on a cleaning frenzy when I got home. Poor Big Handsome, he was just so tired. He just slept on and off the whole day, and he even slept through my vacuuming. I mean, does that tell you how tired a person can be? I've been in a funk for a long time, and so I decided that I'm done, you know, like, I'm done, and I just need to keep busy in order to not get into a funk. And then I had the most hilarious FaceTime with my son and his wife. She had FaceTimed me, and I'm like, oh, why is Keely calling me? And this is what I saw when they FaceTime me, is my son in his Halloween costume, which was a dinosaur, a blow-up dinosaur, and he looked hilarious, and we had a big laugh, and I was so glad she called. And then this represents my husband. Ay, ay, ay. So then on this day, what are we at the weekend? Yeah, Sunday. So I called my aunt like I always do. We went and saw some homes. These were a little bit more in our wheelhouse. They were in, you know, neighborhoods that we like. This one had a lovely lake view. But you know what it had in it? It had one of those, I hate to say it, but like one of those like elderly people tubs, you know, with the door. I don't know. They're just really not my style. And so, I mean, if somebody has it and might really, really enjoy it, but it's just not something that I would want. So, and they're big. They take up a lot of space. So anyway, but the rest of the house was gorgeous. And when I spoke to my aunt, yeah, we had a lovely conversation lamenting about stainless steel appliances and anything else that we could think to complain about. Yes, I love my Sunday talks with my aunt. I really, really do. So we went to 4 open houses. On the way home, I think my husband got me some Zaxby's chicken, which was yummy, rather yummy. This house here had no covered back patio. They had actually taken the back patio that used to be there and closed it in to make it like a Florida room, I guess. I'm not a fan of that at all. I like to be outside. I like to smell and feel the wind and the sun and all of that, So yeah, and I'd like it to be covered, preferably screened. So that's just me. And then this house here, yeah, it was just a weird layout. It was in a neighborhood that we really liked, but just weird layout. Like it was all pieced together weirdly, and I didn't care for it at all. So yeah, then we went there. We went to Dollar Tree because I needed a pill box for my pills. Because I was gonna start taking those Monday, the oral chemo. Yeah, and I think that's it. Oh, had a long chat with Cam and Keely. That's my son and his wife. They were hoping to come up soon. He had called and asked a question of me, and then we ended up talking about a bunch of other things. So it was nice to hear from them both. This is the medication that I was taking, 12 pills a day. Yes. One of them I had to take twice a day, and one of them I had to take once a day. So it was like 3 pills in the morning, 3 pills at night, and then in the afternoon I had 6 pills to take. And I was really, really praying that I would get no side effects, because why? Well, nobody wants side effects, let me tell you. So I serve a big God, so go big or go home on prayer, So I was really hoping for not one side effect. I had my second coffee on the dock, which I haven't done that in a really long time. I answered all my comments while I listened to praise music, feeling good. Yep. Did my Bible reading. My husband made me some tuna, which I love. And then he was able to reschedule his enteroscopy. That's what it's called. And yeah, I relaxed later and watched Law and Order SUV. I did get a lovely postcard, a little puppy postcard, and I can look at it right now because it's right over there on my bulletin board, from my sweet IG friend Agnes. And it was just, these are items, this, and this are items from her. Ooh, that's like holographic. What does it say on there? Huh. I don't know what it says on there, but anyway, it's King Charles. And these are from her envelope. Yeah, it was just really sweet. Really, really sweet. And it really brightened my day. And then this happened. Yes. So I woke at 5. Most of you have heard this, I guess. But I woke, physically I felt fine. But when I went to go read comments on my phone that morning, which is what I usually do when drinking my coffee, I couldn't see. Like everything was blurry, and I thought, well, that's weird, but my eyes have been dry for some time, and so I didn't know. I didn't think much of it, So I went about my day, and I went on my walk, and I was perfectly fine, and I got home, and my husband wanted to run errands, so we ran some errands, and we got to Walmart, and I got out of the car, and I looked down on the ground, to see where I was going, and this is what I saw. I saw these targets, blue targets. It was the weirdest thing. And then I felt like, well, even on the way out to do our errands, my husband had asked me if I was feeling okay, and I said, I'm feeling fine. I said, but my vision is weird, like something is just not right with my vision. And so I had told him, when we get home, I need to look at the side effects to see if it's something going on with my medicine, although I was kind of probably not, because I've only been taking it for 1 day, for crying out loud, but again, I was taking 12 pills, it was a lot of meds. So anyhow, I called my oncology nurse. This is the girl that I call, the lady that I call whenever anything goes wrong. And her usual response after she speaks to the doctor, of course, is go to the ER. So I went to the ER. And then the most frustrating thing was because I kind of thought, I mean, obviously I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on TV, but the only thing that had changed in my life was taking the medication. And now all of a sudden I'm seeing blue dots, or blue targets, and I can't read properly and whatever. And yes, it was one of the side effects, even specifically colored dots. I mean, leave it to me to get some weird, obscure, side effect. So anyhow, she sent me to the ER. They did a CAT scan. The CAT scan came back fine, but my doctor wanted an MRI, and the only way I could get an MRI was if I was admitted to the hospital and actually stayed overnight. And even if which is exactly what happened. They ended up coming to get me at like 10 o'clock to go get this MRI done. I was done at 10:30, right? I could not have called my husband to come pick me up because I was actually admitted to the hospital. So that involves discharge and discharge papers and every doctor and their brother coming to see you and ask you the same question 50 million times. And why are you here? And what's going on? And anyway. So this was my night, okay? I arrived at the ER at 4 in the afternoon. My husband stayed with me until just before I was admitted. Yeah. So I was admitted close to 9 o'clock at night. And then I had my MRI on my brain from 10 to 10:30. And this is because it was because my vision, was messed up. But can I tell you too, my vision came back to semi-normal or almost normal. Yeah, like by the time I left the ER and got up to my room, I was no longer having the blue target problem. And that, I looked up the half-life of the medication, and it was like 12 hours, 12 to 18 hours or something. And it had been that long since I had taken the medication. So it had worn off, in other words. And yeah, so that's when I knew that it was nothing in my brain. It was something with the medication. Although when they did the MRI, because somebody came in and told me, let me go with this. Okay, 10 to 10:30 I had my MRI. And then at 11:30 at night, guys, like when is somebody supposed to sleep? I don't understand this. At 11:30, the nurse came in and did like a whole bunch of registration process or whatevs. I don't even know. But really? You've got to do that at 11:30 at night? So then I was still awake from that. And my daughter texted me that I think this is when she had been laid off and she got out of work early. So I ended up talking with her on the phone from midnight to 1:30 in the morning. And then at 4 a.m., they come in to get blood work. Yeah. And then I finally slept on and off until 6:30. So I had from like 1:30 to 4 that I slept off and on. And then I slept off and on from 4 to 6:30. It was just crazy. It was crazy, 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 crazy. Anyway, it ended up being the medication. And it was just it's just annoying, but rather be safe than sorry. Oh yeah, and then while I was on the phone with my daughter from 12 to 1:30 in the morning, which no sane person should be awake, but a doctor came in. It was like 12:30. A doctor came in and told me my MRI results, and those results were that they found 2 lesions. And so I was like, well, wait a minute. Are they from the original lesions? Because originally over the summer, they had found 6 lesions in my brain, from the metastatic melanoma. And so I was like, what do you mean? Like 2 more? What's happening? And it was just a mess. Okay, it was just a cluster. And so I was just like, whatever, I'll talk to my doctors and they'll know what's going on. So I did go like the next day or whatever to my brain doctor, or my noggin doctor, as I like to call him. And he told me that my noggin was fine. So yeah, whatever they saw, it was from the previous 6 lesions that I had. So anyway, but it was, you know, my daughter's on the phone. She's hearing all this, you know. Anyway, it was all good. It was all good. My husband came the next morning and I went home the next day. But it was just, I dislike being in the doctor or in the hospital, especially because you're in a hospital, you're, you know, you're with a bunch of sick people, okay? You're with a bunch of sick people. I don't want to be with a bunch of sick people. Although I did pray for them. I prayed for all of them that were around me. But anyway, so that is the end of October, and I'm super, super glad that I got to complete the entire journal. Made me feel really, really good. Now the question is, will I finish my November journal? Guess what, guys? I haven't even started my November journal. Okay, maybe by the time you guys see this, I will have started it, but currently we are on November 9th and I have not started it yet. There's nothing written in it. That's okay. It's all right. It'll be good. It'll all turn out in the end. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed that flip through. I had a really great time doing it for you. I haven't done it, you know, like, I don't know if I said it in this one or the previous video, but 7 months. I mean, it's been 7 months since I've done a flip through. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I really do appreciate it because I know time is precious. So I'm so thankful that you choose to spend your time with me. I hope y'all have a great day and a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to y'all real soon. Bye for now.